Welcome to the Fit Affiliate Podcast, where with honesty and transparency, we talk about all things fitness, coaching, and gym ownership, so that you can feel less crazy and frustrated and alone, while you also find more freedom and make more money.
And welcome back to the Fit Affiliate Podcast. Today we are joined by Zack. How are you going, Zack?
I am doing well. So far, so good.
Awesome. So, Zack, you're the owner of CrossFit Sturbridge. And whereabouts are you?
I am in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, so New England region of the U.S.
Oh, nice. Cool. So I thought this was a good chance just to have a little get to know you chat, Zack, about, your journey into CrossFit and talking about, some of the adventures you've had, I guess, as an affiliate owner. So how did you get started in CrossFit? How did you find CrossFit?
So I found CrossFit probably just like a lot of people seeing it online for the first time. I had been in like the fitness game for a while. I'd been doing personal training, group training, sports training for about 6 years prior to that. And then I just saw on ESPN the CrossFit games, and I was like, holy shit, like that's what I want to do. That looks so fun.
Yep.
And I'd already been doing lots of like functional style fitness in terms of like what I did in my own life. So like the multi-joint movement, like high intensity stuff was already kind of there. CrossFit just kind of, I noticed, like put it into a format where obviously like the systematicness of it kind of came into play instead of just like the, like working like certain body parts on certain days kind of thing. It kind of brought everything together in terms of fitness. And then, so one of the funny things is that I had never actually been a part of a CrossFit gym before getting my L1. So I was just like, that's what I want to do. So my first time ever doing CrossFit was at the L1.
Wow.
I just knew that it was what I was going to do. So besides the Olympic lifts, I was pretty foundational and everything else, but it was just a learning process from there. But and then after the L1, I just kind of went like full bore into it. Just dove in, read every article that I possibly could, got as much foundational knowledge as I could, and then from there I just started my coaching career with CrossFit.
Yeah, awesome. So what year was it that you jumped in and got started with CrossFit and discovered it through the games?
That would be 2012, March of 2012.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, cool. Yep. Awesome. It's interesting that a lot of affiliate owners would say that the games don't do them any favors, but you're a walking, talking example of the games, got you into CrossFit and down this path.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would definitely say that the games don't encompass CrossFit, but for someone who like spent their whole life playing like sports and like enjoying competition, like just seeing that definitely drew me in. Not that, again, like that is what, CrossFit inside of a place like this is in terms of like health and wellness, but it definitely draws people's eyes. And I think that's what kind of like sparks people. Because everyone, I think everyone looks at it and goes, "Oh, I'd like to do that," or "Oh, that was fun," and then it kind of like tumbles into a place like this.
Yeah, for sure. And it's watching the games. You're like, "Oh, wow, that's super cool stuff," and you can see they're doing everything. And for people who've got a broad variety of interests, whether they're runners, swimmers, cyclists, that stuff's all covered, in the game spectrum. Sure. And they go, "Oh, well, wow, those CrossFitters, they cycle or they swim or they." Do strongman type things or whatever, and it can.
Yeah, it's almost like they cross fitness.
Yeah, that's funny that, isn't it? So once you started, your coaching journey, I guess straight into your level 1. How long have you owned CrossFit Sturbridge?
So I haven't owned this gym for a full year yet. I purchased it from its former owner back in July of 2021. So I'm still, May right now. So I'm still like 3 months away from full year ownership. So
okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So how old is CrossFit Sturbridge from its origins?
Oh boy, so this gym has transferred ownership and locations for several times over the past, I think, 10 years. So
Wow.
this gym, as far as I know the history of it, started in Sturbridge under a different name called CrossFit Grind.
Mm.
Then it moved to the town over of Southbridge. Then the former owner of this building or this gym purchased it, and it became Crush It CrossFit. Moved it back to Sturbridge, and it became CrossFit Sturbridge. And now I own it, and it's still CrossFit Sturbridge.
And it's staying put for a while.
I hope you guys followed that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I did.
There's nothing worse than moving a gym. So hopefully, you can just stay put for a little while and keep
yeah, I mean, the ultimate goal is to find a bigger spot, but
yeah,
for sure.
Cool.
It does suck to move a gym. I've moved several, so
yeah,
it's such a process. You gotta think so far ahead.
Yeah, and it's all the little things you don't think about that are just hard to pack and move, and then find
things you just don't
homes.
think about unless you've done it. Yeah.
Yep. I know when I bought the gym that I own, it was I had a week to get out of the place that the current owner had, and so I moved and I rebranded. But it's like, okay, let's just put everything on a flatbed truck and get it unloaded. And once we relaid all that flooring, then you're like, I'm never doing this again.
The flooring is the worst. One little thing's off, and then 10 feet later, everything is just going.
Yeah, and you got to have those straight lines, man. As affiliate owners, we're like, you need those straight lines. So before you owned CrossFit Sturbridge, were you coaching at an affiliate before you made that leap?
So I was actually the general manager of this business prior to purchasing it.
Okay. Yep. Cool.
And then I had managed a different CrossFit gym in the past and just coached several times at a few other gyms. I had a weird kind of like lifestyle going there. For a while, I was doing part-time at 3 different gyms, making full-time hours of it just because I enjoyed coaching that much. Might not have been the most fruitful thing I could have done with my time, but I was enjoying it. So it was one of those things where it's, should I or shouldn't I? But ultimately it led to this opportunity of buying CrossFit Sturbridge. So,
and a lot of coaches aren't able to do, make a full-time career of coaching. They need something else to supplement. So you just found a novel way to go, this is what I love to do.
It was definitely a novel way about it. Yeah. It was not easy, but it was definitely kind of like a novel way.
And if you want something bad enough and you're passionate about it, you'll figure out a way to make it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So that it's the only thing that you need to do. What's the thing, when we start, if we talk a little bit about coaching, is what's the thing that really, makes you get up at, super early in the morning and run that early class and that you love about coaching in the affiliate, let alone running the affiliate, but coaching as a whole?
I mean, coaching specifically, it's almost intangible. It's going to seem kind of I don't want to say selfish, but self-indulgent, but it's the satisfaction that you get from helping somebody else, watching people kind of grow and change and kind of realize things about themselves is definitely extremely rewarding. And I'm sure it's probably the most cliche thing to say, but it's cliche because it's said so often, and it's said so often because it's true. So, but definitely being able to see help people get things to click and move and do things different, and helping mindsets too, changing people's attitudes about themselves and about how they approach life. It definitely I definitely view myself as a coach, not a trainer. Because coaches help with behavioral things and trainers help with the physical aspect. So definitely enjoy that coaching aspect of it.
Yeah, and it's easy to get that high from when you see someone come in and they're scared and nervous and shy, and then next thing you look at them, particularly women who come into CrossFit, once they get a little bit of confidence with that barbell in their hand, they turn into a fierce weapon,
Oh man,
and
like
and the
watching
light
watching
switch.
women, watching women get comfortable with a barbell is insane.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. So just a little thing about this gym. My gym population is about 90% female.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so it's kind of an outlier, I guess, in terms of like CrossFit. I know like females generally kind of um, gravitate towards group fitness anyway, just based off like demographics and stats. But
Yep.
like from other gyms that I've seen, it's like either 50-50 or like 60-40 one way or another.
Yep.
But it's definitely like 90-10 here.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I think I'm about 75-25 towards
Okay, so
more women. And it's interesting, even in affiliate ownership, there's an awful lot of, female affiliate owners and, who do it, just by themselves, not necessarily, with their partner, but they're owning the affiliate or, women in coaching in particular. And you see them get that empowerment from it when, sometimes there's a lot of stigma attached to getting past that. And I talk to my girls in the gym. They're often too scared when they went to a regular Globo gym to touch a barbell because the bros in the squat racks would be like, "Oh, the fixed weights are up there, love. You better go up there."
yeah.
And then we give them a barbell and we go, "It's okay to lift weight and be strong." And then when that switch flicks and you don't have to keep encouraging them to add weight, and then they come to all the lifting days. All of a sudden, you're like, that's just a powerful shift, and you see how it's reflected. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, and like the change that occurs, like you can kind of like see, like from when they first walk in to like a few months down the road when they're walking in, like they'll walk in slowly and kind of like looking around at first, and then all of a sudden they're just like barreling through the door. Barbell. It's like, all right, that's what I want to see.
That's nice. Yeah, they start adding tiny fractional plates, and then all of a sudden, no, let's go get the big girl plates and slamming on,
You can do more.
in your currency, 45-pound plates, and grip it and rip it. So it's always fun to watch.
You guys are actually sitting on the plates like right now. I have a 45 sitting right in front of you.
That's true CrossFit. I know back in the day, I started in 2011, and I've owned my affiliate since 2014. But I saw the stories early in the piece of the office that most affiliate owners had was their laptop sitting on the jerk blocks and sitting on a stack of plates and just doing rostering and all their stuff in between classes. And that's just how it was.
It's definitely a gritty thing.
Yeah.
But it's starting to become a little bit more like mainstream with like in terms of like business and like marketing and stuff like that. So
So I guess that's a good little segue into you've clearly started a coaching relationship with Fit Affiliate as an affiliate owner. What you've managed affiliates and you're quite experienced in the area, being general manager and coaching. What sort of led you to reach out and go, hey, I want to get an extra set of eyes on what I'm doing and making sure that I get this right?
It's funny. So, and like I think this was what kind of got like Chuck and Tony's attention on me, is that like, so I had found them prior to even purchasing this place, and so I kind of knew it was coming, like the purchase of the gym. I just didn't know like when, but I had reached out and I was like, hey, you guys, like I kind of want to, like, I've been following you for a bit. Again, I don't know how I even like found them on Instagram. It was, but I started to follow, and it was very serendipitous. And I was like, okay, and I was following the post, reading. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. What a good point of view. And so then I realized, like, okay, if I purchase this business, I've never done anything like this before. So what I don't want to do is buy it just to fuck it up.
Yep.
So I'm like, which is pretty much, that was my legit line of thought. Like, okay, it's mine. I don't want to blow this opportunity. So, but I also knew that it wasn't easy being a gym owner. And just from like the general managing, I kind of had an idea, but you always think you have an idea until
but you don't,
until like actually like things hit you and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, I had no clue this is
No,
how it was going to be. So pretty much I came from a perspective of like, okay, I want to start off on the right foot and kind of gain momentum off that little like jump here, which I definitely feel like I've done. I definitely don't have the same perspective now than I did like prior to buying the gym.
Yeah. Yeah, fantastic. It's funny, like I always say, when I open the gym and I look back now and it's like open a gym, they said, change lives, they said, but what they also didn't say was all these other things that, I always thought, I could run a decent, I reckon I could run a good affiliate, and then when you get one, you're like, oh, so many things that nobody told you about. And I was quite deep into my journey before I, again, like you saw the posts and going, wow, I think they're talking to me or about me. I
Yeah.
feel targeted, and I reached out and had a chat once, and then didn't pull the trigger on anything, and then I went, okay, then booked in my first consult, and I remember Tony asked me, he goes, so what took you so long? It's like, you've reached out to us before. Why and now I'm like, why didn't I do that at the first point?
That's a fantastic question.
Yeah, it's like, well, but it's just having that extra set of eyes to go, and a bit like you, when I still to this day, every day I wake up and go, how do I not fuck this up today? And how do I make it better than yesterday? Because, I owe it to the people who trust me with their wellness to be the best I can be and do everything we can be for them. So, I was like, okay.
Yeah, it was weird. Like, I don't know if it was like a little bit of like wisdom or a little bit of fear or a little bit of both, but I was just like, I think this might be a smart decision.
Yeah, and like I'd worked with business mentors in the past where it's like, here, do this. Well, that doesn't work for me in my, how I think or how I fit or my demographic or anything. And I think what I like best is it's with the coaches at Fitfiliate in particular, it's more of a ask you questions and help you find the answers that you already have rather than telling you what to do.
Yeah.
I think in nearly 2 years, I've been told what to do a handful of times just because, it was quicker than, me going around in circles, avoiding what I already knew. But it's powerful.
Yeah, for
no,
sure.
You go.
No, like it was definitely, and that's still something that I'm getting used to. Like I'm a very good like listener. Like when I'm given a task, like I will do that task. So it's been a huge learning process for me to like be like, okay, well, why am I doing this? Why are you asking me questions about this? And so I know like Matt's wanted to kill me. Matt's my coach, and like I know he's wanted to kill me at least a few times. So I'm like, dude, like just tell me what, like, because he'll ask like things here, and he wants me to be like right in the middle, and like he has to ask these questions to get me there, and I eventually get there. I'm not as dumb as I look, and I eventually get there. But.
No, you're a smart man, Zach. It's funny that you're asking questions, and I'm sitting in my coaching call going, where are they going with this? And you go, oh I see it now, and it's really a different approach and model for sure. That you realize that you know more than you think. And being an affiliate owner too, it is lonely, but it's also easy to like, I don't need to do this stuff today because no one will ever know. It's not like you have a manager looking over your shoulder, but having that accountability of your coach going, okay, well, this has been on your list for 2 weeks. Why haven't you done it? And what are you avoiding? And, you kind of just have that little bit of impetus to look at the scary things like the numbers and stuff and go, and then have to, explain it rather than keeping it to yourself and going, no, the world's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's great. It's fine. I'm fine.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. You said the word lonely and said the word scary. And yes, it's both those things. Cause like, man, it sucks. It's like, you always balance the, should I be popular or should I remain in business kind of like aspect of things. And it's like, I can't really do both right now. I gotta, but for one to be, I have to be the other. And so, it's definitely, again, just like a learning curve, right?
Yeah.
At that point in time.
And I think one of the things that, and it still sticks with me today, is that I think they said in one of my early calls is like, once you look at your business with like the Terminator eye, so you've got like the information scrolling and not looking at like a class on your schedule from an emotional thing, going, oh yeah, but Zach's the one guy who loves that class. Once you look at it from a numbers perspective and data, and you're like, oh no, that has to go. That can't work. And you take some of the emotion that we have when we're attached to things, and members be members, people be people, and they'll, oh, we want this, we want that, and you tend to be very reactive. But having that outlet of a coach stops you those knee jerk things going, yeah, we need to offer aerial yoga today. That's what we want.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. But it's funny. It's like it just you wish so bad as an owner that like that logic would apply to like other people, that like they would
Yeah.
see things from the same perspective, but people
Yeah.
just don't. And it's like
No.
and that's that separation like right there of like
Yep.
doing what needs to be done and like doing what like you might want to do or other people might want you to do.
Yeah.
It's definitely a hard separation.
Yeah. Well, I guess as a coach, we're naturally giving people. So you want to give people what they need. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I could give you that and do that. And then you realize
Yeah, you give yourself out of a gym. It's just like
yeah. It's quite a challenge. So in your the short term that you have owned the affiliate, what do you think your biggest highlights been to date in this starting off this journey?
Whew. Oh man, that's a good one. I mean, definitely, it's weird. It's like a positive and like a negative, but like one of the highlights has been kind of like a culture shift in terms of like members and like how they view me and everything now. So it's like I definitely have that responsibility and like respect given to me now a little bit more than when I was just managing and coaching. But also that kind of turns on its head there. It's like now it's like I don't get told certain things anymore. People are almost like a little bit scared to bring things up. And it's like, okay, it's like I need you guys to understand that I'm still Zach. I'm still like a perfectly rational person. Like it's okay. I don't know that the highlight, but let me think of a highlight. I was actually able to, one of the things was something that I actually did like with the gym. So I know it's like kind of hard to see, but my gym is separated into 3 rooms.
Right.
And the one on the other side of the computer used to be this like kind of like gross turf. So kind of worked it so that turf got pulled on up and laid down some nice new matting, and now it looks like one big cohesive gym as opposed to like the gym over here and the turf room over there. And people seem to enjoy that. So in terms of like actually something that I've done in here, that's probably like the biggest accomplishment so far is being able to kind of bring that in and make a third room like useful in terms of the gym.
And utilizing that floor space that is clearly you pay for it, so you want to get the most out of that.
People would still use it, but like on like double under day, like I had people just like crowded on this side of the gym because they'd be like, I'm tripping up on the turf, and like I know you are, but just deal with it for right now.
We used to have when I first opened, I didn't have much flooring, but I had a strip of AstroTurf, which meant I could floor the gym, pretty well on day one. And if it was burpees or box jumps, everyone would be moving to one side, and this was just like a one strip.
Burpees too. No one like being in there.
So now when we expanded our facility, I ran it down the middle of the room, so it nicely divides the room, but no one has to burpee on it or skip on it or anything like that. So it's we now have functional turf, but without it being creating division.
Nice.
Yeah, it's interesting that you just said that about people tend to view you a little bit differently now as the affiliate owner. I found that as well as you kind of create this tribe in this community, but at times you can feel like you're just outside it. So the community will form groups and bonds and they'll do things, and you're like, okay, but no one actually thinks to pull you back into that because you're seen as now one step removed, I guess, which is kind of a weird thing to feel at times.
Yeah, it's a weird but a good place to be, especially when you're when you're learn to like make decisions from that point, because like because then I guess like it transfers, like people get it.
Sometimes. So I mean, clearly you reached out to Fitfiliate before you opened, so this should be a no-brainer question for you. What's your it shouldn't. Maybe you don't have one, but what's the biggest lesson you've learnt in the time that you've had Sturbridge?
Oh, the biggest lesson is just to be confident in my decisions with like what is to be done. Like I'm admittedly like a big second guesser,
Yep.
and then I have the hardest time like pulling the trigger. Like if I'm about to like send an email, I'll be like, all right, 3, 2, 1, press the button. And so
Yeah.
definitely learn to be confident in my decisions and just trusting that there's like it's going to be better, which
Yep.
they all have been so far. So
Yeah.
definitely getting good guidance. Now it's just like me sucking it up and being like, boom,
Yep.
and going. So,
and I've what I found is that I can say that I'm going to do something, and they've never once said that's a dumb idea. I know, like I expanded my facility during COVID, and most other business coaches would have said, "Don't do that, don't you know?" And these guys were cool. Well, let's figure out the numbers to make it work, and that's what you got to grow by. And it was just like, if that's your dream, that's what we're going to do. And that was one of the empowering things that I think the very first call I had was, what's your dream for the affiliate? I'm going, I just want to serve the people and, help make people better. And that's like, no,
but that's not good enough for Chuck
no,
and
no,
Toast.
no.
Nope.
What's your dream? And it's, no one ever really asks you, you buy this affiliate and suddenly you've got this thing that's your baby and it's a high maintenance baby, but no one asks you, well, what do you want it? What, time, money was no option. Like, what would you want it to be?
Well, it's a very hard question because like you almost feel bad about thinking in terms of yourself at that point. Cause like, it's always like, I mean, again, like your perspective outwards is always about like helping other people, like, bringing things in, but then like they kind of turn that back on you and make you like think like, okay, well, what do you want to do with like your life? And it's like, okay, well, I wouldn't mind doing this. And I don't know about you, but like I kind of felt like guilty when I thought about things that I wanted, and I was like, I would kind of like shy away a little bit, and I'd be like, I don't feel right being asked what I want, like, and that's not coming from like that's like the honest to God like truth. Like I felt like bad, like being like thinking of it in terms of like a business and like what it can do for me, but then it kind of, but again, that just opens other doors because like in the end, like you realize like, hey, like I matter too a little bit, so it's like, I don't want to be like straining myself every week. I don't want to not be able to take a day off if I need a day off. And, so it definitely and so like, that was definitely a hard thing for me to do. Like kind of like, talk like view it in terms of like, what do I want?
Yeah. And that was an interesting perspective for me as well. It's like, I felt guilty saying, if they said, if you had an ideal day, what would it be? It's like, I felt guilty saying, well, not coaching every day or not, being able to say, oh, at the gym, pick and choose the classes I want. I felt guilty rather than saying, well, no, I got to be working at the gym from, dawn till dusk. And
yeah, it's true. It's
hustling and grinding.
It's a very weird question to be asked.
Yeah, but once you start to think on it, then it really helps drive your decisions and going, owning a business should not be a millstone around your neck. It should give you opportunities to lead a lifestyle that you want. Like, yeah, if you want to go and, for me, it was playing golf. If I want to go and play golf, I should be able to do that and schedule that in and know that everything else is going to continue on rather than feeling guilty. It's like, oh, I should be there and I should, it makes it's really interesting to get past that. It's almost, we talk about mothers having mother's guilt. It's kind of like that with the box owner. You feel like you've almost got to martyr yourself and you have guilt like, oh, I'm leaving the baby. Is that okay? Am I allowed to feel that?
It's very, very true.
Yep.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's definitely an odd sensation, I guess, in terms of that.
So, just to give us a little bit about you, I guess, Zack, what is your all-time favorite CrossFit workout to do?
Oh, I'm a Fran guy.
Ah, the old classic.
Fran's my favorite.
Yeah. All right. I will usually take Grace or DT.
Grace is our WOD today.
Oh wow, there you go. Right. I'll just pop across the pond and hit that one up. It's
Let's go.
yes.
That's funny. That's funny you said that. No, I've always been a Fran person. I had it during my L1 when they were still letting like people do like pull ups and everything, and I don't know why it just beat the absolute crap out of me, and I was like,
I want more of that.
Never again. Like I'm gonna beat the crap out of you.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny how the workouts have that perspective, and it gives you that, totally knocks you around. You're like, no, I'm going to come back for more because I need to get better at that, and it really triggers that in most of the people, which is cool.
I'll definitely say I'm like a little bit of like a Fran specialist. I could probably improve my Isabel time, but
short and sharp doesn't work for me. I'm a long grindy sort of specialist when it comes to like the sevens and stuff like that.
Give me short time frames and short rep schemes, and I'm your guy.
Yeah, you're all over it. Awesome. I can suffer for a really long time, but suffering for a short period really hard just doesn't make my day.
Get it over and done with. Let me push
and get it out.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, if our audience for this is, affiliate owners and coaches, what is, in your experience now, if someone came to you and said, hey, I'm thinking about opening my own affiliate, have you got any advice for me? What's, a couple of pieces of advice that you would give to them to set them on their path?
Ooh, that is a good question. I guess, so I just read, it's not Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell.
Blink?
No, I forget the book, but one of the key points was begin with the end in mind. That is definitely something that people don't think about, including myself. It's just so exciting to do. You don't really think about like the process, like later down the road, or like where you want to be at that time. So definitely begin with the end in mind, and like expect the unexpected. Like there's really like no way to kind of like plan for it. It's just like things hit you, certain situations comes up that you don't even like know how to handle, and you have to like wing it. But definitely plan ahead, know where you want to go, know what you want to do.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. So speaking about books, do you have a go-to book that you recommend to people? Is like in your back pocket, you're like, if you read one book for the rest of your life, this has got to be it. Because as affiliate owners, we're really good about reading our L1 and L2 and studying for our L3, but there's a heap of other stuff that helps.
I read a book years ago called "In a Pit with a Lion on a Snowy Day."
It's a good title.
It's a faith-based book. It's actually from a story in the Bible about how like you take on impossible odds instead of like being like unprepared for things. Like you kind of go at them instead of away. And it'll work out in your favor. So, In a Pit with a Lion on a Snowy Day.
Nice. I'll have to look that one up. I'm always looking for good things that can get some inspiration and some motivation from on the slow days for sure. Awesome. Well, thanks for your time today, Zack. It's been great chatting to you. I know through our time, I've enjoyed getting to know you on our little group calls as part of our mastermind group, but it's been really cool to have a chat to you today, and hopefully you'll enjoy hitting Grace.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun day. No, I had a very fun time. Didn't expect that to have this much fun doing this and talking. So definitely thank you for letting me come on and do this with you guys, and I hope I provided at least a little bit of insight into what all of this stuff is about.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, and I've really enjoyed the chat. So we'll catch up with you next time, I'm sure, mate.
All right, Lisa. Thank you very much.
All right. Cheers, Zack.